A Good Day Live, and boy, what a show we have for you. Sitting in for Jillian and Dorothy are Leeza Gibbons.
Thank you so much.
Carmen Electra.
Thank you.
If that's not enough, Tyra Banks is with us today. We'll show you something she spends a lot of time doing. One of the most important things in her life, and this is really terrific stuff.
And I'm Carmen Electra. Today on Style File, what do you think? Do the color of your eyes determine your intelligence? What about if you're sweet or sexy? We'll find out.
It's hard-hitting journalism, folks. Anyway.
Delivered well.
What could be bad today? That's all I have to say. Welcome right now.
It's all about you, Stevie.
To Good Day Live. Boy, have we got stories today? Hi. How are you? Oh, that's right.
There will be singing, dancing.
There will be dancing. There will be dancing today.
I just can't help it. You were dancing today. I watched you this morning.
I've been inspired by you.
I love it when you dance.
It's
adorable.
When
he lets that gray hair down.
It's so cute.
On our local show, and I was moving around, and I looked in the camera, and I had to admit to everybody, I'm really white. I'm a white guy.
You're as white as they come.
Yeah, I'm as white as they come.
But you know what?
Yeah, but you're proud of it, though. You wear it well.
And you're honest.
See? I'm like Paula Abdul in American Idol.
Yes,
Always something
exactly
nice to say.
Yeah. What would you do if you were on that show? That would be tough for you.
To judge?
Because you are sweet, supportive, and nurturing, but you're also critical. So what are you going to do?
You know, I think Paula hits that balance pretty well. There are a lot of ways to say, right?
Yeah.
But I feel for those kids, the stress they're under. And look at how skinny, Carmen. I mean, you know, you're like a zero, but look how skinny the girls and all the guys, too, have become since the beginning of that show.
Stress? Stress
It's
diet?
a lot of pressure, but just wait. That's nothing.
Until the real world.
Yeah, because you're constantly being judged and criticized, and every move you make, someone's looking at you, and it's hard. It's really hard.
It's good training.
But you know what? You can do it if you just have to stay grounded and.
But if you were one of the judges, you'd be crying every second. It would be disgusting. You would be crying every moment.
I cried last night when RJ was booted off.
And you weren't even watching.
I know. I was watching.
But RJ's so sweet. That
He's so sweet, and then he had to sing the song at the end.
That's too much.
That's what got me.
When they say sing us out and you've just been told you're never coming back, get a life, you're not good enough.
No. He certainly was a winner, but what I didn't like is when he sang out at the end, they went to commercial right away.
Well, no, the show was over. They ran out of time.
Well, that's what I mean.
They had short credits that night. You know what that's like.
And I blame that on Ryan Seacrest.
Our buddy Ryan. You can't blame him for anything except for having teeth that are too white.
And her major point there is you can train your children over and over again. Samantha was trained, but if you're not watching them, then they are not safe. What did you just say?
When I was about 4 years old, I was visiting my grandfather at the hospital, and we walked out into the parking lot. It was like 8 o'clock at night, so it was getting dark, and there was a man following us, but you know, you don't really pay attention because you know, there's always people walking around. You're at a hospital. And my mom put me in the car, in the front seat. She got in the car, and the man ran up to the car and was trying to open the door. But she saw him out of the corner of her eye and locked the door just right on time. And the guy was still trying to open the door. And I remember it. It was very traumatic for me as a little girl. So, I mean, you just never know.
Yeah. That's the blessing in this case, is that little baby will have, you know, no memories of this trauma.
No memory, absolutely. Yeah. I think of how many shows have you done on this topic and topics like this?
Yep. Yeah. And the kidnappers frequently say, it's my baby, and they fake a pregnancy, and they create this whole fantasy world that they live in, which is the other part of this tragic story, that mental illness.
And why can't we see it before it happens?
I know.
And then you'll find out, and I don't know that in this case, it will be people saying, well, she had been acting strange of late, but nothing is done. There is
I have scandal fatigue. There's so much of it going on in every faction of society.
Every faction of society, yeah. But you know what? We're all turning so cynical and skeptical. We don't believe anything. I mean, think of it. All the institutions. It starts with September 11th, I think. And then you have the business community, the Roman
corporate
Catholic
America,
Church.
the church,
Yeah.
sports teams.
Little League. Yeah.
I know. Cheating in schools is apparently epidemic, and or maybe just discovering cheaters in schools.
Right.
The rapists?
The rapers?
Attacking older women?
And maybe all of this will reach some kind of critical mass, and we'll have some kind of moral renaissance, which will probably last until a week from next Thursday.
Now to a story of real importance.
Yes.
Want to have a lot of children? Well, marry a tall man. Size really does matter, and it really does, in my opinion.
Thank you, Carmen.
The size of the heart.
This is a stupid survey.
The size of a man's heart matters.
Okay.
Size really does matter when it comes to how many children you'll have. A new study shows that men who are 6'1" and are more likely to have kids by middle age than guys who are 5'10".
Ugh, that sounds ridiculous.
The reverse is true for women. Women between 4'11" and 5'2" are more likely to be married with children. Isn't that interesting? So I should have a lot of children, I guess.
Oh, you could have about 15 kids.
I'm like 5'2".
You're 5'2".
Yeah, 5'2 and a half.
I thought you were about 4'6".
It's the shoes.
Shoes.
You got her Jillian specials on today.
Exactly. What did you say? What did you say?
I was waiting for it to
Wait,
end. Yeah, you thought I was going to go taller.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go taller, but you went shorter.
We have not had
a
good punch out since the last time you were here, as I recall.
I know.
Okay.
He just wants to touch you.
We need to get physical.
What is the cause? Why is this?
They don't know exactly why this is the case, but they think that it has something to do with women finding taller men attractive than shorter ones. That
is so bogus and ridiculous.
That is.
That's crazy.
Thank you for saying that.
But you know that's as hard-hitting as the survey you had the other day about how you hold your cell phone.
How about that for a dumb one?
We'll make up for it now. But I know you'd rather touch Carmen, so that's another show.
Well, if I must, I must, all right? We're going to be back in just 60 seconds, 1 minute. Should little kids be allowed to sleep in their parents' bed? They're the results of a new study. Kind of interesting results for you. Live.com. We'll be back.
Look at this.
All right, the Good Day live birthday game. Happy birthday, Deborah Messing. How old is Deborah today?
30-something.
35.
I think she's 36.
I say 37. She's 34. You're all...
She's so mad at us now.
Yes. Ben Affleck, 33?
34.
2.
30.
30.
We are cool today. And the beautiful Nastasia Henstridge, who was just with us here the other day.
24.
I say 27.
I say 30.
Boy,
28.
you know, we had 9 shots and didn't hit once out of 9 shots there. Tyra Banks is more than just a pretty face. Oh, I don't want to read this way. Tyra Banks is an exceptionally human being. And anyway, we asked her to do this on the show today because what she does is so important. It's one of her very personal projects, and it's her camp for girls called T-Zone, and she's out at the camp right now. And first of all, Tyra, thank you for being with us because we know you. I think you're in the middle of a session right now. How are you? First of all, tell the folks what this is all about.
Well, yeah, this is my camp. This is our 3rd annual T-Zone. It's a self-esteem adventure for young girls between the ages of 13 to 15. And we discuss deep things every night, like beauty and body image, sex, dating and relationships, girls player hating on each other and being mean with each other. We do improvisational classes. We have songwriting classes, dance classes. It's just great.
It sounds like you're having more fun than they are.
I am having fun. I'm like a big kid, Steve. I'm 13 years old again, so I like get in it. And now, you know, a lot of people think that I come like the last day and like wave on a cart. I'm here every single day. I'm waking up, I'm doing the morning dance circle, I'm putting them to bed, leading the campfire, eating the same food that they eat. So
no diva treatment for you, right?
No diva treatment.
Tyra,
although they did think that I was going to be a diva when I got here. They were like, we thought you were going to have satin sheets and be sleeping in some castle in the mountains above us. And I'm like, I'm right here with you guys.
Tyra, I think it's so cool how you received lots of fan mail from girls talking about how they had low self-esteem, and then you put this camp together. It's so cool that you took action on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've received and continue to receive a lot of mail from girls talking about their insecurities, whether it be about like a romantic relationship with someone or just their physical selves. And I was like, you know what, I want to, instead of just writing a letter back, I want to reach them personally one-on-one. And we changed a lot of lives. We have junior counselors that were counselors last year that are like back and being mentors to like our new campers. And that just touches me so much to see the transformation that they've gone through.
As the mother of a 13-year-old, I applaud you for this, because that's the age where girls begin to sort of, their self-esteem does slip away, and they start wanting to please boys, and they start being so influenced by all of the extraneous forces that are just, it's just an extreme amount of pressure. Exactly. It works what you're doing, doesn't it?
Thank you so much.
Hey, Tyra, I wonder, two things. First of all, are the girls intimidated by you at first? And second, it's a tough world, even if you are an attractive, beautiful, slim young woman. It's a tough world. It's a really tough world if you're not all those things, and how do you get that message through?
Well, first of all, the whole intimidation thing, yeah, I think some of the girls in the beginning are a little intimidated. They're still looking at me as that superstar thing that I call as left in the city. That is not me. When I come to camp, I change my name to BBQ or Saucy, because I love barbecue ribs and I love all types of sauce. Everybody comes to the camp and changes their name. On the first day, I answer any question that the girls want to know about Tyra Banks, who I'm dating, what's going on, how was this movie, how was it like to work with this person, and then after that, there's no more of those questions, and I'm just BBQ to the girls. And in terms of self-esteem, yeah, you know, the people in the industry, and maybe Carmen can speak, and Leeza can speak, we're some of the most insecure people because we're constantly being watched.
I am.
And yeah, and even though we set these guidelines that are so hard to fulfill, but I explain to the girls that it's retouching and airbrushing, and it's just smoke and mirrors, and I break that down to the girls. But yeah, I'm extremely insecure and extremely strong at the same time, and I think there's strength in talking about your insecurities and opening up and sharing with the girls. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people do look at me like, what are you doing with a camp like this? How can you be insecure? And it's like, you have no idea.
Yeah, because you're alive and human, and unfortunately, we live in a world where the cosmetic thing is so big, how you look, the superficial aspects of a person, and young girls, especially young girls who are turning into that the teenage years, feel they're being judged and looked at every single moment.
Exactly. Last night we had a beauty and body image night, which was our most emotional night, and I lead this process where I ask them to find the most beautiful thing on their body, and then I ask them to find the most negative thing on their body, and it was the most emotional. I mean, everybody was crying. It was actually our most bonding night, because at T-Zone, just like in any other zone, wherever you may be, people tend to like get into their cliques, you know, like Asians and Latinas and black girls or the white girls, and that was happening at T-Zone. But after last night, everybody is blending because everybody realizes that we all have the same insecurities. It was a really good break.
I remember Oprah Winfrey saying a long time ago, "I am not my thighs," which sounds like a silly statement, but I understand exactly what she means about that. And if you can get people to the level of knowing their heart and their soul is not in what they look like today, that's a great message.
But you know what? They look at us, these young girls. They look at their mothers and their role models. And my daughter, who I said is 13, is always clocking me on saying things like, "Oh, I don't know, I think I'm going to go change this." And she'll say, "Mom, you know, we don't take our own advice often, and you know, it's not like the insecurities disintegrate because we reach some level of wisdom and security and maturity, rather."
It never stops. It never stops. It just turns into different types of ways. I had one girl, and she was really skinny, and we were talking last night, and she's like, "I want to talk to you privately because you had the skinny problem too growing up." And she goes, "Is it ever going to stop?" And I said, "You know what? It'll probably never stop. No matter how old people get, they'll probably still think that, you know, it's okay to make these jokes about you. But what can get stronger is this, and that's what's going to get you through it." So.
Life-changing stuff you're doing out there, Tyra.
Yeah. So I want my girls, they're here, and we want to do our T-Zone cheer.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on. You guys ready? Yeah. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. My T-Zone sister, what's up, what's up, what's up? I got your back, girl, you know I'll back you up. I'll be there for you, no ifs, no ands, no buts. My T-Zone sister, what's up, what's up, what's up?
Just terrific. Anyway, congratulations on this, Tyra.
Thank you.
And I hope, you know, you're a role model for those girls. I also hope you're a role model for a lot of other people in the public eye who can take some time out and do what you are doing, and that is just great. Thank you, Tyra.
So much.
And by the way, thank you. And I just love that she does that. You know?
Well, and that she's there and she's hands-on and she's available to those girls. It's one thing to phone it in and get the PR for it, which she clearly isn't about that.
And it's so, you know, it's cool because I get a lot of fan mail from girls who are they write me and say, I'm bulimic or I'm anorexic, and you just don't know what to do. It's so deep and it's so heavy, you know, that you want to help them. And obviously she's doing that, so.
Well, she's really grabbing the bull by the horns. Her could be good movies. Everyone talking about it?
Everybody is talking about it.
Did you talk about it today?
I actually did a whole piece on Blue Crush for E. It was a special Women of the Beach.
And you probably did it on Extra already, right?
Already. And on all the breakout stars. And
too much entertainment news. Just too much. Can I say
no, there's
that?
not. No, we're a gluttonous society, and we can't.
Okay.
We cannot consume too much.
Men are taking longer and longer to get married, and some researchers say they know why. Basically, most men feel they can get most of what they want outside of marriage.
Now, what does that translate to? Sex?
I don't know. It means they don't want long-term commitment, obviously.
Sex.
Yeah. Men are now waiting until the average age of 27. Well, that's not so bad. Researchers at Rutgers University say the good news is the men may be more financially stable and emotionally mature. The bad news is they may be too set in their ways.
At 27?
At 27?
That's young.
In extensive interviews, here are some of the reasons men gave for putting off marriage. All right? The number 5 reason, they want to own a... Thank you, Mr. Drummer. They want to own a house first. Number 4, they fear change and compromise. Number 3, they want to wait to have children. Number 2, they fear divorce and the financial risks that come with it. And the number 1 reason, Carmen, what is it?
The number 1 reason men are putting off marriage until later. They can get all the sex they want outside of the marriage, so why even bother?
See? I think this is actually a very positive survey, though. I think it's good news. 27 is not... I mean,
in our world now, 27 is 15.
It's over.
No, 27 is 15.
You're right.
You know,
You're
I think it's better to wait.
Better to wait. Better to wait. Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Should you have waited?
Not
no, I'm not going to start.
Not that my opinion matters.
I'm not going to start with you.
But,
you know, let me tell you something about Carmen. If you ask her a question about her life, you really get an answer, and then you're sorry you asked because you want to protect you.
That's sweet.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because you mean she gives up a lot of personal...
Carmen had a somewhat infamous marriage, all right?
Yeah.
Don't start. It's not
okay, all right.
There's no question. One day I said to her, Carmen, let me ask you something that a lot of people feel. What were you thinking? And then she gave me this heartfelt response, and I felt like an interview molester. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have asked the question because you were so sweet and honest.
An interrogative rapist.
Yeah. And I wasn't looking, you know, to do the cheap TV tough
But
question.
I love that she didn't trivialize it and wasn't, you know,
Didn't
flippant.
trivialize it at all. And that was probably the moment when I really started bonding with you.
Oh, get over it, Steve, please.
What?
We know the moment when you started bonding with her.
This is a rise.
What is he, just like an image campaign for Steve today?
Remember, vote for me.
I'll vote for you, Steve.
All right, Monster. Okay, he may be the anti-host. We do the anti-show.
That's pretty much it, Steve.
All right, thank you guys.
All right,
Thank you very much. You get all this testosterone worked out, all like banging things
It
around.
reminds me of BattleBots, which we just got another season of.
You're the host of BattleBots.
I'm the host of BattleBots on Comedy Central.
Yes.
Carmen, that was seamlessly brilliant right there, what you just did.
Very nice.
Did you see how I segued into the
That was
plug?
skillfully done.
Everyone at Comedy Central and BattleBots will be very, very pleased. Okay, today on Style File, can the color of your eyes determine your intelligence? Fresh Looks Cosmetics polled more than 1,000 people, and here's what they found. 34% saw brown-eyed women as intelligent, 9% called green-eyed women sexy, and 42% thought blue-eyed women, like myself, were sweet. Am I sweet?
You are. That's the one thing that overwhelms me. You are sweet.
That is another absurd survey.
Of course it is.
I mean, how many
It's an absurd show, so what do you expect?
That's ridiculous.
All right, you know what? I want you to be comfortable. Why don't you say something like, and we'll tell you who J-Lo is dating.
Yeah, because that would totally work, wouldn't it?
And isn't it supposed to be Tabloid Thursday usually?
Okay, where are the tabs?
I thought I got through 30.
No dirt alert.
I love the tab. I love tabloids.
I thought because Dorothy and Jillian weren't here, I got through Tabloid Thursday.
No. Well,
they'll be out in the
maybe
next segment. Watch.
Now that Charlton Heston says he has symptoms of Alzheimer's, gun control advocates wonder whether he should be allowed to keep his weapons. We'll tell you about that. Left and the hair was going right. It was kind of an odd thing. All right, Carmen.
All right, Hollywood's new sex symbol is big, bad, and bold. Is it Anna Nicole Smith? No, it's not. Vin Diesel, the star of Triple X, is driving women to the theater in droves. His movie was #1 last week. 52% of the viewers were female. That's rare for an action film. Women say he's a real man, not a Hollywood pretty boy.
So who would be the Hollywood pretty boy? What would they say that is? Brad Pitt? Who would that be?
Yeah, I guess the more traditional. Yeah, Brad, Tom, Steve Edwards. Yeah. Exactly. He's sexy.
Can I go smack Zeke the cameraman? Would anybody? Not a problem if I did it? Huh? Just okay. So we come back.
Seeing eye horse. This man from Maine suffers from severe tunnel vision and is legally blind. But things changed for the better when he was introduced to Cuddles a year ago. Cuddles is a pint-sized miniature horse that acts as a man's eye when he blah, blah, blah.
And that as well. I said, you do this story. You'll just go through it.
Yeah. All right.
But it's a great story, and there are several cases of where they use these seeing eye horses, and they work. I mean, they really work.
Look at your face.
Tomorrow, Jillian is back, and also the young women from Blue Crush will be here. Special tribute. Thank you. Special tribute to Elvis, and Rita Sofer will be sitting in. Leeza Gibbons
Where's my
from
jingle?
Extra. Thank you. Carmen Electra, as always, thank you. And to all of you, thank you a lot. And thanks, buddy.